My name is Marcell Hanson, and you're listening to Small Habits, Big Changes. Let's dive in. Welcome. This year's holiday season can be very, very different. It can be the most satisfying and rejuvenating season that you've had thus far if you follow just a few simple tips. In fact, if you just follow one tip and you implement it now, right now, this is airing a month ahead of holiday season. For those of you in the US, it's coming up on your US Thanksgiving, but in reference to Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, solstice, Christmas, and New Year, there's one way that you can ensure that you'll have so much more rest and rejuvenation in this time of dormancy, really. The one trick that you can implement, and you can do it for the entire year, but most of all, it's very impactful if you apply it during these holiday seasons, is this. Now, most of you already have some sort of calendar or book, journal that you keep each and every day. Maybe you keep your appointments in there. Maybe you're making notes of like what time you ate, what time you went to bed. Maybe you're doing some tracking. And even if you're not tracking at this point, which I highly encourage you to do, we have several episodes on exactly how you can track these crucial milestones in everyday living that allow you to propel into higher levels of your potential, raising your standards and living a fuller, more fulfilling life as you go. Without doing all of that, you can do this one thing. You have to have a calendar for the next, say, month and a half, depending on what holidays you're celebrating. We're going to start with anywhere from US Thanksgiving all the way into Chinese or the Lunar New Year, which is February. So what you do is block your time. It's very simple. It's very efficient. If anyone is in the business world, if you're an entrepreneur and you know that there's certain times that you do well to, say, do administrative work or to make outbound calls or to drop in and do in-person visits, you block those times. Say 8 to 10 a.m. are outbound phone calls. 1 to 3 p.m. is complete downtime. Starts with lunch. Maybe it has a meditation. Maybe there's a nap in there. Maybe there's just something that you enjoy that brings you a sense of rejuvenation. Maybe it's a workout, right? So you block it out. And in order for this to work, you need to reference your calendar or your book before committing to anything. So sit down now before any bit of holiday craze begins and block out time for yourself, preferably each and every day. And if you did so, it'd be really simple. We're in November. You're just going to block out an hour and a half, say for lunch, 12 to 1:30 every day from now until February. Someone asks you to lunch, it's really simple. If it's at 11 o'clock and you can go and do double duty, then do that. But if it's not, and it falls in between that hour and a half, then you just redirect, you reoffer, you reframe. I'm actually not available for lunch that day, or actually any day if it comes to ask, but I can do a morning or an afternoon, or we can grab an early dinner. It's about communicating clearly what works for you. You are conditioning folks to understand how to interact with you. Don't beat around the bush. Don't say you need to check your schedule. You know your schedule. If you set 12 to 1:30 each and every day from now till February, it's really simple and really easy to remember. Now, if you don't do it daily, you do need to check your book. So if you're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, blocking off from 4 p.m., no commitments after that, then you need to check your schedule if you can't remember that. Especially if you're just getting started, it's sometimes difficult to remember what you've implemented. So you say, let me check my book really quick. So if you don't have your book with you, and then it's probably digital on your phone, you have to block out those times so they are reserved for you and you don't give them up. That's it. If there's an instance where you feel like you can be flexible and give one up and immediately reschedule it for the next day, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 4 o'clock on, you have booked for yourself, but something you really want to do that really will fuel you and feed you is happening Wednesday at 6 p.m., if you see in your calendar that you can swap it and do Thursday 4 o'clock on, then do it. But it's not about the rigidity of it. It's about your commitment to yourself. Hear me when I say it's about your commitment to yourself. If you do not take care of yourself, when it comes deep into the holiday season, you're probably not going to be very fun to be around anyway. So take the time to care for yourself from now until the new year and see if that doesn't help bring levity to some of the pressures of people maybe giving invites, or maybe the pressure of you feeling the need that you need to fill someone else's social calendar. And my hope, of course, is that you do this so you have a fantastic holiday season, but also that works for you, and that you can continue to do it throughout the year. It's a great idea to have a certain time of day each and every day that's just set aside for you. Maybe it's in the morning when you can sit and journal before anyone else is awake, or before you have commitments for the day. Maybe it's at the end of the day. These are great ways to stay connected, a beginning and an end of the day. But I will say that I've heard many clients share that at the end of the day, they're tired. They don't have anything left for themselves. The beginning of the day, they're anxious. They want to get going on their, to-dos or their commitments to others. And if that's you, then picking a time during the day, or even starting with a day on the weekend, just a Sunday for you, or a half day. Once you get started, you can see the benefits, the results that come from having that time, that restoration time for yourself. But if you don't ever get started, you'll never know. So if you start here on the holiday, I think it will be most obvious to you just how much benefit you'll get. More relaxation, more time to center and be aware of what's important in not only this holiday season, but in life in general, about the experiences you have, about the connections you make. It's not about doing it all. It's about enjoying. So give that a try. Try time blocking for this upcoming holiday season. Let me know how you get on. You can send an update or any questions that you have to the community texting platform. That's free of charge. You can text the word yes to 206-483-296. That number again is on the outro. For those of you that are not tracking at all, this will be an intro to tracking, because that's truly what it is it's documenting a certain time of the day, of the week, and giving you a benchmark to work from. So you can apply this for the season. You can apply this for any future season, but you can apply this each and every day to either your recreational time or your professional time. I've said it before, but it's really true. It's honest to goodness the truth that the freedom comes within the structure. So when you structure your days and weeks in such a way that you have set aside time just for you and to do the things that you need to do for you, it actually brings you freedom. So for those of you naysayers out there who think that this is too much structure or it's too restrictive or constrictive, give it a go for the holiday season and see what you think, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that it's easy to do. It can be as low maintenance as you'd like. You certainly could get tedious with it and time block each and every half hour, 15-minute block of your day. That's just not my jam, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for other folks. It depends on your personal situation, but time blocking can be brilliant. And more importantly, tracking, no matter what you're doing. If you are a stay-at-home mom, working a side hustle, if you are a guy or a gal in the trades, working blue collar, long hours, very physical hours, if you're white collar and you're working in the medical field or the financial industry, you got a lot of one-on-ones with other people throughout the day and you find yourself drained or jazzed. If you're a billionaire and you have nothing on your plate, this works. Tracking works. It keeps you on purpose. It gives you insight as to what you are doing and where your energy and time is going. And no matter where you are in life, whether you're 18 or 90, that's what we need. We don't necessarily need work to do. We don't necessarily need things to do, but we need to have a purpose. And oftentimes those things and that work and those meetings, they are predicated on that purpose. It really does all come full circle back to tracking. You can find the earliest episodes, maybe episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where I go deeper into my stable table. Tracking is the key to all these things, because the truth is you can hydrate, you can eat well, you can exercise every single day and get to bed early and sleep and actually rest your body for 5, 6 days, 7 days in a row, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months. There will come a time where something in your life happens and it throws a stick into the spoke wheel of your bicycle and off you go, and you won't remember how or what you did prior to. Tracking is grounding. Tracking brings you back to what keeps you going. You know, it's like owning a house. I work with a lot of folks in renovating their houses and consulting and building. And so many people subscribe to the old deferred maintenance. The roof's on its way out, but we could get another 1, 2, 3 years out of it. Hot water heater's 13 years old, but maybe next year. That works for some people. It really does. And it works some of the time, because you can get lucky. There are hot water heaters that last 40 years. The majority of them do not today's manufactured ones, but depending on how hard your water is, how it's used, if it's drained, how it's drained, how often it's drained. Some have never been drained, have decent water. You know, there's a long time you can run your hot water heater, your hot water tank, beyond efficiency. The corrosion's built up, you're flushing through your hot water and it's heating it up again and again and again, corroding the inside, but it's still doing the job. It's just not efficient. But the beauty is you don't see it. It's like your engine getting a little bogged down, getting gunk in it. You might start to feel it knocking. You might feel it running a little rough, but you just keep running it. You just keep running it because it's like, oh, I'll make that appointment next week. Oh, next month, next week, tomorrow, whatever future date you have in your mind. And you run it to the point where you've caused damage. You've used that hot water tank to the point where it's gone belly up. You have delayed maintenance on that roof until there's a hole literally in it and your attic is getting soaked. You've let the paint flake off so much on your house that now water and rain, the elements are starting to actually permeate your exterior. Deferred maintenance. People do it all the time with their houses, all the time. And people do it all the time in their life. This is all to say that tracking, simple tracking, circumvents that. It keeps you on track. No pun intended. So if you want this holiday season and every holiday season moving forward, but let's just start with this one. If you want this holiday season to run more smoothly, to feel like just an amazing time where you can connect with friends and family, but also take good care of yourself, try to time block. Try it, see how it goes. Sit down tonight, today, and block out at least a 4-hour block. For the busiest person, you can find 4 hours for yourself, or 2 2-hour blocks. That's even better. It's more frequency. Frequency is great. If you can carve out 7 minutes for yourself each and every day from now until eternity, those 7 minutes will feel like 4 hours if you utilize them correctly for you, depending on what you need. Maybe that's meditation. Maybe it's a hot shower. Maybe it's a power nap. Maybe it's a journaling session. Maybe it's a call to a friend that you just haven't talked to in a long time. You can schedule it. It can be so many different things. That depends on you. But the process and the structure that you put it in is tracking, time blocking, keeping track of that time just for you. That's what I'm talking about. If you have any questions of how this could play out, you have a certain scenario. Everyone's individual. Like I said, you know, a stay-at-home mom is going to have a very different schedule than somebody who's working 60 hours outside the home. It doesn't mean it's not possible. It feels impossible as a stay-at-home mom. I get that. But there is always a way to block time, even if the time doesn't land at a certain time every day, because that is almost impossible to do as a stay-at-home mom of especially little ones. You can't say at 3 p.m. every day for a half hour, I'm going to spend time just for me, because kids might not nap at that time, right? But you can say, when they go down, then that first 20 minutes is my detox time, my decompression time. Now, once they get old enough to where they are able to care more for themselves, or you have structure in place, then you do need to set it into a time, because there will be a time where they're not napping at all. And then all of a sudden your rejuvenation, your decompression time is lost. So that's it for this week. Do what you can to block those times out block and chunk that schedule from now until February. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and be awesome. Thank you so much for listening today. If you feel any part of this episode resonated with you, then please consider sharing it with a friend who may also find value in it. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And before you go, did you know we have a fantastic free text community? If you want more bite-sized health hacks and reminders delivered directly to your phone, absolutely free, then text keyword YES to 206-483-2960. Again,